Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. I'm on childcare duty today.
Oh, cute. Hi.
15-month-old niece,
Wow. She's pretty. Hi there.
and we're in Phoenix.
Cool. What is that, a Curious George monkey that she has?
Yeah.
Oh.
And she doesn't have just one, she has two.
Does it have a tail?
It has a tag.
Okay.
And no, there is no tail.
Yeah. That's like
They
one of the.
call it George.
Hi,
I don't
Rachel.
know if it's official. I had a thought of the day for you.
Sure.
Um, this morning on your update, you talked a lot about, the Schumann resonance and the indexes and the moon and everything. I
Yeah.
thought if we got everybody on, if you were short of time, it might be good to explain what those are, why they're important to you, that you tell us about it, and why they should be important to us and why we should follow it.
Oh, that's a great idea. I don't know how many people are going to be joining us today, so we might be able to do that. In fact, there's not a whole heck of a lot to share in terms of new updates, although I can do a screen share on the new deck, which is pretty incredible. So I think we are, what is the time? We're 11:03.
So I feel like I used my old link and it didn't work. So I had to go back in, find their newest one, and it did work. So some people might
Oh,
find that as well.
working? Let's
It
see.
said, so I just had a Zoom link from the past that I've
Mhm.
always used, and it just said, like, host is in another chat or something like that. Host has another chat. So then I just had to go back to Telegram, find your today's update, click on that, which then it updated my calendar as well. So,
Oh, good. Okay, great.
but some people might try that older link as well.
I'll just let everybody know. Everyone use the new link. Old is not. Okay, well, I think it's just us, which is actually great because I have a whole shitload of work to. Sorry, I have a whole lot of work to do. Um, a whole lot of work to do. Oh, we got people joining now. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll go through the new deck. I'll explain the Schumann resonance and the sun and the moon and the stars, sort of reasons why I go through that, and then I'll go through the new deck, get everybody sort of updated, and then I have a PPM or POM to finish in a subscription package to edit, to look over, and then a lot of LOIs with all of that. Really, I was supposed to be off last week, right? Um,
Yeah.
we canceled our vacation at the last minute, so I didn't have anything really like scheduled and planned. But we did end up going on that boat, so that was really incredible. All right, so we're going to do the Fire On pledge. Welcome to everybody, Laura, Allison, and Rachel. Um, I pledge my mind to the respectful recognition of the sovereign liberty essential to human dignity. I pledge my hands to the creation and maintenance of communal, cultural, and ecological prosperity. I pledge my eyes to watch over the integrity of truth and justice with the acceptance of natural balance of diversity and equality. I pledge my heart to the connection that binds all of us throughout creation, and I pledge my whole being with humility and love to the grateful service of all sentient beings and human consciousness, and I will duly act in accordance to the principles derived from such wisdom. Good day, everybody. This is the Fireside Chat for March 22nd, 2001. And we're going to kind of go over the developments for the past week. I'll show you all the new deck that we have that outlines some of the new tech that's coming to market through PHIRE, and explain a little bit about some of the baseline segments that we do. So I think we'll start with the baseline stuff, since Tom suggested that might be a good idea to address. And so I cover the sun news, the moon news, and the Schumann resonance. I cover the moon news because it's just kind of gives you an idea of where the moon cycle is at, whether it's a new moon or a full moon. I do sweat lodges, and I usually do them on the full moon. So I kind of like use that as a means to track when our next one's coming up. So I have a head start, because it's usually like 4 days of sweating, and so I need to have my evenings and pretty much afternoons open. Then on the sun news, so the sun is what is called a Maunder minimum right now, and that means that every 11 years it kind of flips from a very active cycle to a non-active cycle. Last cycle was pretty active, but there, and I want to make sure I get this right. It's either that it's getting more active, all of both the minimums and the maximums, or less active. During the Maunder minimum, there's less sun activity, less CMEs, less coronal holes, and there's something that I didn't know. Let me put it this way: that there's a difference between a coronal hole and a CME. A coronal hole is an area very, very large that's usually darker than the rest of the sun. They call them sunspots in the past. They're basically an area of where the corona of the sun is, there's a hole in it, right? And that allows high speed electrons to fly out of the sun. Usually they get caught up in the corona of the sun. The sun is generating all of these atoms, protons, electrons, full atoms, all the heavy metals, everything that we make up in the world, all of the nickel, cadmium, iron, helium, oxygen, everything on the periodic table of elements is created by the sun. It's a big atom generation factory. And in the corona of the sun, which is like the outer layer of the sun, there's a lot of those materials built up. And so it's creating electrons, and then when it pops, when there's like a CME, it shoots a lot of protons our way, which are positively charged, atomic structures. Where there is a coronal hole, it means the electrons that are inside, that are partly being generated into atoms between the inside of the sun and the outside of the sun, all of those electrons come shooting out of coronal holes. And so when there's a coronal hole that lines up to Earth, all of these negatively charged electrons spew out fast towards us, and we get bathed essentially in electrons. And as those electrons hit the planet, they affect the upper atmosphere, and they actually have been proven to cause weather conditions. The biggest force on our planet for weather, believe it or not, is actually the sun. And so when there's actually been found to be correlation between those energetic electrons hitting the Earth and things like hurricanes, earthquakes, volcanoes, and the like. And if you notice, I don't actually talk about it, but there are a lot of volcanoes that go off, a lot of earthquakes that go off when we come right into these coronal hole streams of highly charged electrons that hit us. And when it's positively charged electrons that hit us, it can do things like take the grid down on a very bad day, or affect satellites, or affect telecommunications and stuff. So I pay attention to all of this because there's this fella named Ben Davidson who runs a channel called Suspicious Observers. And he's been watching the sun for a very long time, and he's a plasma physicist and astronomer. And there's a whole group of people that are around them that are studying the universe with a plasma-based or charge-based model, rather than this whole dark matter BS that mainstream science is looking for, which doesn't exist. They haven't been able to prove it. They haven't been able to prove any of their postulations using the dark matter. But because they're getting funding to find dark matter, that's what they go and look for. And they say, oh, but it could be this, it could be that. Maybe we just didn't look hard enough. Meanwhile, the plasma physicists on the other side are saying all of those questions can be solved with plasma cosmology. But for some reason, the mainstream scientific community does not want to acknowledge it. So there seems to be like this strange dichotomy in pretty much every sector of the world's geopolitics, science, universities, all of this. It's like this pushed agenda of this is what we say it is, and this is what we want you to look for, and you have to fit it into this model. They don't take into account the sun, like for global warming, when the sun is the biggest effector of global warming and or climate change, not SUVs and fucking cow farts. So these guys, Ben Davidson and his crew, the Suspicious Observers, have been kind of predicting successfully when and where earthquakes are going to be based upon where the solar, the winds are coming from, and whether they're positively or negatively charged. And then also it affects the positively charged, also affects weather. It's like all of those electrons and protons that hit the top of our atmosphere connect with other electrons and protons and create also atoms and create weather conditions, ionization of the upper atmosphere. It's been proven that when, you know, we're in a big stream of solar radiation, that there's more cloud cover that builds in that area. It's just fundamental physics and geophysics, but for some reason, this is not part of the mainstream narrative. It's almost as if there is a, like I said, an agenda to have all of this other information and reasoning for things be completely false. And it could be to keep people, you know, in the dark, so to speak. So I cover the sun news, and then I cover the Schumann resonance. And what the Schumann resonance is the vibratory rate of the Earth, 5.28% or 5.28 hertz. It actually vibrates at a lot of different harmonics, much like, you know, notes on a scale, right? You can play a couple notes and it'll make a chord. So when the Earth's vibratory rate increases and it pulses really hard, basically, this can affect people. All of these things, the sun, the moon, the Earth, they affect us in such big ways. But because we're so focused on our day-to-day, yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we don't necessarily take into account these huge waves that we float on, let's say, or that float through us. They affect us in very subconscious and subtle ways. But the more conscious you become of it, the more correlations you see between your mood or maybe your energy levels or whatever. And so I talk about the sun, moon, and earth news in that way because it gives some folks a baseline frequency of what's really going on, right? So thanks for asking that, Tom. That's kind of why I cover those. So from there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and show you the deck. Can you guys hear me all right? Is everybody hearing me?
Still hearing.
Okay, cool. Can you see the deck there?
Yes.
All right, let me put it into presentation mode. I'm not going to go into all of it because I can't have this be a public pitch in any way, but I just kind of want to give you some ideas of where our value proposition is and what we've got. So this is short-term vision and future assets. We have a HIPAA-compliant blockchain at this time, multi-chain dynamics, which is a methodology which we use to protect everybody's data from their identity. So we could actually harvest the mass data, but it's not connected to the individual. This tricorder sensor tech is the sensors that I was talking about on last week's fireside chat that can scan at the molecular level and the atomic level to verify gold or detect bombs or to scan for diseases on a human being. And this is going to be on another slide coming up. We have this hexahome material, which I kind of alluded to last week, talking about it's a mix between carbon fiber and basalt fiber, and we can basically build a tiny house that's 166 square feet for under $5,000, which is unheard of on the marketplace right now. And then we have power poles and pads, which are essentially power generation stations based off maglev permanent magnets and wind turbines. We have our social merit algorithm and our governance of economies. Essentially, what PHIRE provides, PHIRE Global Partners provides, is a huge like economy and governance tool in a box. You know, they're kind of piecemealing the beast system together. We actually can build it, but we can maintain the freedom and liberty and control that's necessary for us to have a good, happy civilization. Why is this not going over this way? I'm trying to find if there are any more people in the Zoom to let in. Okay, no good. So our PHIRE phone includes recently declassified sensor tech that has not hit the market yet. It's able to scan at the molecular level, can verify gold, commodities, and more, can scan medically for other diseases, equivalent to the Star Trek tricorder. That's what I've been calling it, you know, and I think that it could really revolutionize telemedicine, remote medicine, all of that. We have a team of over 40 years experience in contract phone sales and manufacturing, have the contacts for multiple government contracts. We could be doing $10 billion in contracts in 2021 just based on a couple million phones sold. And the camera is actually better than the iPhone and than the Samsung. It is on a Android platform, but what we want to do is eventually make that a blockchain operating system. So then we also have the hexahomes, which was the material that I was talking to you about. This is a design that our friend Vinay Gupta came up with, because basically these are 8x8 squares put together in a hexagon. And then the idea is how can you go to a box store and get the least amount of materials and create a low cost temporary or emergency housing. But if we take this and add our material to it, we create these tiny houses that are actually quite large. I have a picture somewhere that you can fit like 20 people in them. And the idea is with our material, it could be 20 degrees Fahrenheit outside or 80 degrees Fahrenheit outside. And so long as it's sealed up, it'll be 75 degrees inside without heating or cooling electricity, which is a huge, huge thing. Just heating, like we could take this material and make it as an insulational panel and put it in already fabricated homes and already reduce their heating and cooling costs by a tremendous amount, orders of magnitude. Like I said, it was made out of graphene and basalt fiber. It's stronger than steel, lighter than titanium, antibacterial, produces electricity, and heats and cools without electricity. In fact, what we're looking to do right now is if you look at where the wall meets the ceiling, what we want to do is put a strip of LED light there, LED light paint, and the walls, just from the thermal temperature differential, creates electricity, and you could light up that strip of LED light paint. So it's corrosion proof, can be molded, and can be assembled by 1 or 2 people like SIP panel housing in under 5 hours. And we have the contacts and the relationships to be able to get a couple, 50 to 60 million of these out into the market. So we also have the power poles and the power pads, essentially windmill generation with maglev turbines and permanent magnets in it that multiply the power from that wind turbine at the top of that picture there. One of the poles produce 1.5 kilowatt hours per pole, and it propagates signal too. So you can put like a Wi-Fi repeater or 4G or 5G if that's your thing. And you could actually outfit a whole city with these and run the city off of just the power poles. Obviously the big cost for something like that is renovation, and it's a big upfront cost, but then, you get rid of the decentralized power systems in place and run it off of clean energy. And there's a number of other technologies in our coterie or repertoire, including, gosh, what are they called? Biochar pellets. There's a number of different technologies that we have. And so this is the property up in NC. We're going to put in, oops, how do I go back? If you look at the top right of it, it says the Appalachian Institute. These little hexagons, I wonder if I can scroll in. Nope. The little hexahomes go all along the center of the property and along the side road here. And then we want to put in 4 or 5 of these earth ships into the hillside there. There's a spring that runs through it. Over to the left is like the central deck area with the bunkhouse, and we're going to put a big hexayurt at the bottom of the bottom right of the property here. There's a pond. So this is basically an outline for what a FIRE hub could look like. That's just our property up in NC as an example, 11 acres with a bunch of different pastures and a bunch of different gardens. And we can do like black tie farm to table dinners there and show off all of these technologies, like the power station. One of those power pads, 286 kilowatt shipping container, is $2 million, and it would power this whole village and be able to sell power back to the grid. So we're going to get a couple of those, put one here, sort of demonstrate all the technologies that we have available to us, invite potential clients, give them an amazing experience, have people living here, testimonials, and all of that. And it's basically the business model for FIRE hubs in the future. So we have a number of clients in the pipeline. We've sold a couple contracts, 14 of them, and this is sort of our roadmap. The MVP is in stores, but further development is needed, as we all know. We got to negotiate some contracts for the phones and for the houses and for the app and the licensing of the app. Market it. Once the app is like built and we've got the HIPAA compliant blockchain, the wallets are working, everything is running smooth, then we're going to market to the public and be like, come join the wave of the future, you know, beyond the baseline stuff, more like sort of mainstream messaging and, you know, cool graphics and animations and stuff like that, and really just kind of get people excited about it. We have music, we're going to make it a whole cultural movement, not just like, hey, this is a new bank. It's like, this is the movement that will save civilization. And we've got music and arts and culture, and it's a lifestyle. It's not, you know, business as usual. And then we're going to launch the Global Cooperative Bank, and then enroll new economies, get new governments in, get new memberships like the Mayo Clinic and others in, and you know, teach everybody who's using the app how to build it and how to build the brand and make money using it, you know, and then build the first hubs. So that is that. Let me escape that now. Where is Zoom? How can I stop screen sharing? Ah, here we are. There you go. So we've got a couple more people in the waiting room. So that's a little bit of an update. The boat was really fun on the weekend, and I've got a whole docket full of meetings this week, and I'm finishing up some contracts, and that's what I'm going to be doing right after this. So I want to open it up. Hi, Maya. I want to open it up to anybody if they've got any questions or would like to introduce themselves. I see most everybody here has been here before. So if anybody has any questions, yeah, Natasha.
Yeah, so my question is, so I'm itching to move. So when would this when would this be available?
We are going to break ground in April on the PHIRE hub. And what that means is that it's going to take a little bit of time to get the manufacturing of the Hexa homes and the in-ground houses going with this new material. I want to put the new material in. I don't want to build anything else, really. But we're putting together a website for that project specifically. We're calling it the Appalachian Institute. I don't know if that's what it's going to be. And then we're going to start selling lots. You know, tiny houses will probably go for maybe around 50 to 60K. The bigger houses will be more, you know, like 120, 160K, somewhere in that range. And what you're buying is essentially a membership in a private community, and you have access to live there whenever you want. And when you're not there, there'll be somebody there who can manage the place and then also take care of it as an Airbnb for you. You know, there's going to be a lot of cool stuff going on with that. But I suspect the website and the sort of, you know, marketing material for all of that will be out in the next 2 months.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly how long it'll take to manufacture those houses. The tiny houses will obviously be a lot quicker, and what we're going to do is put people there, start working, you know, start living. We got a Starlink coming there, so we're going to have really good internet, and so if you like work remotely, that's something that you'd be able to do. And then we're going to hire somebody who is going to be the farm manager, and then people who want to come and live and work and do work trades and stuff, and basically kind of get the whole place up and running, you know, in operations as a real farm. And we're going to put in walapinis and just like get a lot of stuff growing, and then kind of figure out what the main product that we will produce there, like whether it's power from the power station, selling power back to the grid, you know, that's one revenue stream. And then, you know, let's say, you know, specific coffee grounds, and we want to produce those to give to the local, you know, beer brewers or whatever. It's like, we want to find niche produce or products that we can produce there that produce revenue for the area, for the community, as well as, you know, everybody's jobs or whatever they're doing for livelihoods.
I do have one more question. If somebody does not have the finances, is there any kind of like finance or any kind of options?
Yes, but traditional, right? So there are banks and there are lending institutions that will give out loans on permanent leases, which is what essentially you'd be buying into here at Appalachian Institute or whatever it's called. You don't end up owning the land, you own the building and you own your membership. And there have been historically proven, and there's a community down the road from that facility that actually does this, where they sell lifelong leases that are just transferable, as transferable as like a home or whatever. But they keep the land in a trust, which is kind of what we're going to do as well. So there are institutions that will give you loans, mainstream institutions. We are not close to being able to provide those loans ourselves as PHIRE. However, you know, in the year, 2 years, that will be something that will be on the table as well.
And you said there's a non-traditional possibility outside of the banks?
Well, no, like there's a Carolina Farm Credit is a cooperative lending institution there in the town of Burnsville, and they actually have given loans for lifelong leases like this. So that's an option, but you'd have to find the bank, the right bank, and go through that process.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yep. But then you can also rent. Like, we're going to have rentals available. So if you want to do that, that's also an option.
What's the rentals like? Like, is there a down payment?
Don't know. Yeah, it would be same as before. It's like first, last, and security or whatever.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Natasha. All right, Brian.
Yeah, I'm definitely intrigued about some of these new building designs and stuff like that. I guess, will you be having either hiring, or would there be an ability to maybe come down and help out on the weekend once you do actually break ground, to maybe learn about some of these things?
Oh, yeah, of course. In fact, we'll probably have a big old party to do it. Everybody come camp or something. There's just not a lot of, well, I guess there's a bunkhouse and there are a couple of yurts, but it's mostly like glamping at this point. But yeah, we should have a workshop and teach about all of the tech, right? And then like actually build some of these hexa homes, because there'll be SIPS panels essentially. Like, it'll take just a couple people to put them together, but we could have the guy who invented it come and show, what the properties of the tech are. If we can pull him away from his work for a couple days.
Cool.
Brian Bagshaw asks, what's glamping? Glamorous camping, my man. Did that answer your question, Brian Aguilar?
Yep, definitely did. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, no problem. Rachel, you're unmuted. Did you want to ask a question? I guess that's it.
Yes, I wanted to see, how do I get with you? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Can you hear me? Okay. I just wanted to ask you, I had told you I have the property. I'm exactly an hour from you in Burnsville, and I actually have a property right down the road from you in Burnsville that I'm mine, but I'm going to be in the area. So I do want to come up there and check out your space, but that's what my vision was for this property. The 74 acres that we have is exactly what you're talking about, and putting everything under a trust and make sure that it's protected, and have it where I can have little homes. I would call them hobbit homes, but little hex homes, like what you're talking about, so that they keep warm and keep cool on the same, but have a place where people can come, have a place to live, but work the property and do their own, have trades. I have a bunch of timber. I have rolling hills. I have springs. I have everything, just like what your property has. I just don't know. I guess what I'm asking is, where do I get with you and start getting serious about doing something with it?
Oh, that's great. I love it. So let's see. How are you financed right now? Like, how are you planning on financing this? Or do you have a,
I'm actually buying.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm digging a emerald mine this year. Actually, I'm starting this spring.
Oh yeah.
And I'm hoping that, well, there's no hope. There's emeralds there. So I'm hoping to have the emeralds to pay for, as soon as I pull them out, they're pretty much sold. I just got to pull them out. So when I pull out emeralds that will pay for the project, then I'm hoping to have it completely paid in full.
Gotcha. So,
and then just keep adding to.
Okay. So right now I don't have a whole heck of a lot of time to duplicate the efforts, but as we're breaking ground there, we can use essentially the same model. There's a way that we can get it financed just by pre-selling the lots, pre-selling the homes, and the manufacturing again isn't that expensive, so we
Right.
can actually get some good revenue. And if you're willing to use the FIRE Hub model and use the FIRE corporation and build your own corporation that's a member of the FIRE Community Cooperative, then like I'll help you out and we can make this happen. But I can't run point on it. You know what I'm saying? I can give you all the tools and the resources to kind of help that and just replicate our process. And you run point on it, and maybe we can help out with sales or this and that, but definitely help out with your own currency and all of the governance systems that FIRE would be employing.
No, I mean, I wanted to be a part of, I see your vision. I can see where this is going and how this would be so great for everybody. And so I completely support you and I want to be part of this. So that's what I'm asking is how, when you get a chance and things slow down for you a little bit, because I know it's not going to slow down, but and I hope that I get to see you in person up here and we can talk about it more. But I would just really like to talk to you in depth about it.
Yeah, let's do that. Send me a DM in Telegram, and then because I should be going up there in early April, and we could link up. Maybe I could walk your property with you or whatever.
Well, great. That'd be awesome. I should be up there in April anyway, if everything goes right digging. So
sweet. Maybe I'll
right
dig. I know my kids would love to do some emerald mining and digging, so maybe we could make a fun adventure out of it. So I just started sharing my screen.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Right? That'd be cool. So yeah, DM me in Telegram and we'll keep it up. So I just started sharing my screen. I had this picture from a long time ago. This is essentially the size of the Hexa-yurt. And as you can see, it's quite large. 10, 11, that's 11 people in there. You could fit a lot more people, but you could easily fit a bed in there, a couch, a small kitchenette, and a small bathroom with a shower even, right? And still have like desk space and still have it feel cozy. So it's sizable enough that you could have like a really nice functional tiny house that could be cozy and very low cost and very efficient. And when I priced this out before I had this amazing space age polymer material, it was like $12,000, including all of the stuff that would be in an RV, so you could have like essentially like a DC power generation unit with our wind turbines on there. You could be producing enough power for the system separate from the rest of the community. And yeah, it's really exciting to me. I think it's like the perfect size for 1 or 2 people, basically like a small apartment in New York, right? But well designed. So that is that. Does anybody else have any other questions? All right. Well, cool.
I was wondering, is there going to be, I kind of just jumped in late here,
Okay.
but I was wondering if you talked about or had any plans of making like a mobile, like kind of like an RV design of this, or was it just the Hexa home?
I don't have any ideas. Well, I mean, I have lots of ideas for mobile units, but it would be retrofitting existing units. Like we're not going to be getting into building vehicles or anything like that. At least not right now. So no mobile units, but the components that make one of these in terms of like minus the housing, right? But like the wind turbines and stuff, like those are available in mobile configurations, I think. Not right now, but we could do that. Mostly where we've been focused is on habitation and like permanent habitation, not mobile stuff. There's a lot of cool companies out there doing, RVs and the like. So.
And I don't know if you mentioned this, did you have a name for it yet, or the material?
No, actually. It's
Oh,
so
okay.
brand new. There's no name for it yet. Not that I'm aware of. I got to ask Ray, but as far as I'm aware, there's no name for the material yet.
Cool.
You got an idea?
No.
Graph salt or something, or baffine. I don't know. I'll ask him. He invented it, so I'll be actually meeting with him this week too. So I'll check in about that. Is it this week or next week? Yeah, no, next week. Any other questions? If not, then we will get on to the meditation, which I know I could really use. Okay. All right. So the way the meditation works, for those of you who have not been here for it, we'll do a brief relaxation visualization where we fill ourselves up with light. And then we will do a sort of breathing exercise where we inhale and draw up the earth's energy, like the Schumann resonance, essentially, and the ki or chi energy of the earth in through our spine, spiral it up our spine, and then pause when we inhale. And then when we release it, imagine a fountain of water, electrical light energy flowing down and spiraling around our auric field, increasing the coherence of our field, the atomic structure of our bodies and the atomic structure of the air around us, like a magnet would for iron filings. And then we'll do that for 4 cycles of that. And then we'll do a visualization of just how much power you have within each one of your cells, and sort of like what you know, some people have been calling the densities, which is essentially, you know, when you shift up in density, it's essentially becoming more aware and condensing more information into your current form. So it's a visualization technique and meditation that allows us to really recognize how much power flows through each one of our atoms, the power that flows through our body, coherently structure our body so that we can increase the amount of energy that flows through us to more actively gravitate that which we desire and seek into our existence and into our field of awareness. So if you could find yourself in a seated or lying down position, whatever is most comfortable for you, and just take a moment to be here right now. Let go of any of the stresses or concerns or consternations that you might have about your day or your week or the weekend. Just allowing yourself to be fully present and without any of those things. Being aware of your breath, aware of your belly, aware of your mind, just calming yourself. Deep breaths in and deep exhales. And we will begin by picturing a rose gold light shining down from the heavens onto your seated form. Imagine this rose gold light bathing you like a shower, but of sun rays. And wherever this rose gold light touches you, it just warms you, increasing your relaxation, increasing your okayness and your presence. As this rose gold light penetrates the top of your crown, imagine it filling your body like a cave, like a flashlight in a cave. And let the rose gold light come down from the top of your crown to your third eye, enveloping your brain, calming you, relaxing your thoughts. And on the leading edge of that rose gold light, imagine all of your stresses just melting away, melting down on your back, on your front, down into a pool below you. No concerns about rent, no concerns about bills, no concerns about relationship struggles. Just let it melt off you. And as that rose gold light fills your head, it becomes lower and lower, covering your ears and your eyes, increasing the relaxation of your eyelids, increasing the relaxation of your eyebrows, relieving all tension. As that rose gold light goes further south, covers your nose and your mouth and your jaw, enveloping your whole head in this beautiful, warm, glowing consciousness. And as the rose gold light continues down, it covers your neck and your throat chakra, Any tension there is released, melting off you like warm coconut oil. It covers your trapped muscles, your shoulders, pectorals, your deltoids, all the way down to your heart, enveloping you in gratitude, and peace, acceptance. And as this light continues down, covering your lungs, your solar plexus, your biceps, you become aware that you are a being of power, you are a being of joy and presence. Any relaxation continues south into your belly, abdomen, into your center, your creative center. Kundalini creativity is increasing. All tension is unraveling, melting off of you into a pool below you. As your elbows and your hips are covered down to your root chakra, you are safe. Your lineage of ancestors have come before you. You have your people now. You are safe. You are safe. You are sound. As the rose gold light fills up your body, including your thighs and your knees, calves, let it fill up your ankles all the way to your toes until your entire body is radiating this beautiful conscious light. Any of the last bits of stress melting off of you into the pool below you. Imagine your radiant being, the radiant body which you inhabit, above all of those stresses and concerns, easily addressing them in the days to come. Being aware in this present moment of your eternal nature, carrying this body, animating this vessel that is perfectly built and perfectly attuned to your experience at this place that you call here and now. Aware of the ancient lineages behind you, of humanity, of your ancestors, each one living a life full of joy, struggle, challenge, overcoming obstacles, passion, yearnings, strivings, dreams. Each one of those beings a full song, distilled into the next song, into the next song, reaching you, sitting here, the leading edge of your ancestors, exploring this place that you call here and now, radiating with light and awareness, appreciation, gnosis, the deeper fundamental awareness and understanding of your life and all of those who have come before you, allowing all of your chakras to align in a deep wellspring of gratitude. Take a moment to just be. We will begin breathing exercise where we draw in energy from the earth, radiating through the root chakra, spiraling up our spine. When we will pause after the inhale, increasing our awareness of the stillness around us and the stillness within us, becoming aware of that I am that dwells within all of us. And then on the exhale, we will release that fountain of light energy, increasing the coherence and electromagnetic field of our bodies and the atoms and the air molecules around us. We will begin with an inhale, spiraling the energy up and hold it, radiating through your body, and exhale, spiraling the water fountain of light creating the aura field around you. Exhale and hold it. Inhale, spiraling the energy up your spine, and hold it. Exhale the water fountain of light energy, and hold it. The stillness of the universe. Inhale the earth energies up your spine, electrifying your body, and hold it. Spiraling the light energy around, increasing the coherence of your body systems, and hold it. Inhale the light energy up from the earth through your spine, and hold it. Pausing in the stillness, and exhale, increasing the coherence of your field, and hold it. Become aware of the stillness of your body and the space around you. Inhale the energy up through your body system, and hold it. Know that I am, and exhale, increasing the coherence of your body system, and hold it. Now breathe comfortably, inhaling the energy up into your being with the same spiral tornado, and exhaling the same release of energy and coherent building in your body system. But do this in a comfortable manner. And as you are sitting there, become aware of the atoms and the molecules in the air around you. Increase your awareness and magnification to realize that they are full of information. Increase your size and your magnification until you're floating above and behind yourself, your body. Become aware of the room and the molecules that hold the walls together, containing the efforts, the echoes, the tracks of the emotions and thoughts that you have had in this place. The story of this place, its building, its creation, its dreaming, that it would one day hold you in your story. It is alive with your memories, and your feelings, and your strivings. The air around you is alive with the life force of creation. Electromagnetic fields bouncing and harmonizing and flowing within others, full of information. Increase your size and magnification until you are floating up and above this room, or if you are in a building with many rooms, floating up and above that building. Be aware of the story of this place that houses you and perhaps houses others. Be aware of the space around this building, the city or the town, the forest within which it's contained. In the same way that the room was filled with alive atoms that were conscious and aware, so too is the space around your building. So too is the life force of all of the beings around your building. Whether it is people in a city, forest-dwelling creatures in the woods, flying beings, an entire song that carries the building, that carries the body, that carries the consciousness that you are. An entire field of awareness and of molecules and atoms comprising a great song of which you are a note. Alive with the story of this place. Increase your size and awareness until you are floating above the nation, or the county or the state within which you are dwelling. Aware of the millions of people, the millions of beings, the four-legged ones, the fish, the flying ones, the insects, an entire ecosystem of life, the song of creation expressing itself, holding the town, holding the building, holding the body of which you are a part. Increase your size and magnification until you are covering and looking down upon the earth and the upper atmospheres of the planet. This entire beautiful gem of a planet. Billions and billions and billions of life forms. Animals and plants, humans, rock beings, water beings, flying beings, cloud beings, all dancing in a rhythmic pattern of life and creation, a symphony of creation. And as you look upon the horizon, you see those fellows here with you now, little lights floating high above the planet. Imagine a web coming from you to each one of these individuals, encircling the globe in a net of protection, of intention, structured molecules and atoms, representing the possibilities of a brighter and more beautiful, balanced world. Stillness, peace, health, well-being, joy, and gratitude. And as this web is interwebbing between all of us, imagine it pulsing down all of those feelings of gratitude and joy, peace and balance at an atomic level, affecting each one of the beings. Strong emotional wave of peace and of prosperity, of love and intention. And as we are doing this, we notice that there are angels in the upper atmosphere, other beings whose job it is to guardianship, to watch over and to guide. And they are grateful for our knowing, grateful for our intention. The peaceful joy of young souls in earnest, heartfelt striving, and innocence and purity. And as we increase our size and magnification, we become aware of the moon and its history and its stories. The beings who reside there, the rock being, the ancient history of this place. Millions of years of atoms, molecules coalescing into a formation that makes sense. As we increase our size and magnification, we become aware of the other spheres in the solar system, each with their own stories, each with their own songs. Uncountable trillions of atoms, all oscillating with their own gnosis into a harmony and balance that becomes the solar system, a symphony of creation, a room in the mansion, infinite creator. And as we are aware of the solar system and its spheres, we are aware of the sun, generating and creating the atoms within which we dance, within which we are clothed. All of these infinite atoms coalescing and forming, vibrating and dancing and flowing in harmony with one another. A sea of moving information, sea of awareness. The sun housing infinite souls from across the galaxy and across the infinite planes, churning and creating life, that its consciousness might split and experience itself from all of the varied perspectives. A grand symphony of creation, a room in the many rooms of the mansion of the infinite creator. And as we increase our size and magnification, we recognize that the solar system shrinks into a tiny pinprick of light. And around us are trillions of pinpricks of light, a sea of stars, each with their own systems, each with their own trillion-year history, each with infinite atoms full of bounty and understanding and gnosis, a sea of awareness. And as we increase our size and magnification, those pinpricks of light shrink until we are outside of the solar system's galaxy, floating above the spiraling Milky Way. Billions and billions of systems, organized in a spiral of light and power and dance. A symphony of creation comprised of trillions of songs, infinite stars and infinite atoms, full of infinite universes, of which you are in and a part of. And as we increase our size and magnification, we recognize that there are other galaxies in the space around us, each pinpricks of light. And as we increase our size and magnification, all of those lights come together into one pinprick of light. And we are floating in a sea of darkness with one light below us. And then you become aware that there are other lights, and those other lights are other atoms, each with their full universal understanding and gnosis, comprised of infinite complexity. And as you are aware of that other atom, you become aware of more atoms, and that they are in a formation and they become a molecule. And as you increase your size and magnification, you see that that molecule comprises a cell within the body of your being. And you are back here in your room, in your space, in your body, comprised of billions of cells, made up of trillions of atoms, each with an infinite universe within, of information, of infinite history, of infinite symphonies, all working in perfect harmony to produce this vessel within which you exist and experience creation, a vibratory rate of gnosis, a vibratory rate of experience and reality, full of the power of infinite possibilities, infinite star systems, infinite lineages, infinite species, and infinite gnosis, an infinite being in a finite experience, calling upon all of the power of your ancestors and all of the star systems and universes within your being, releasing any tension and releasing any stress, allowing all of the power of all of those infinite stars to power you. Star systems within, generating life force, harnessing life force, channeling life force into the song of your life, the note in the grand symphony of creation. We give thanks for a world of beauty, a world of proper challenges to overcome, a world of love, health, and well-being. So it is. Aho. Thank you very much for being here. I could sit like that for a while.
That felt extra beautiful today.
Oh, thanks, Natasha. Yeah, that I could have just sat there.
And so supposedly we are officially in the age of Aquarius now. So
Woohoo!
Whoop.
It's time.
yes,
It's on.
it's
It'll be an
on.
exciting week and then an exciting year.
Yeah.
I suspect we're going to have all of these things kind of come to a head. I think that, like, here, let me end the